Guys, let's wrap up the two China video series. I've been talking about the two Chinas, but actually, when you think about it, not just the China, but every country has the two sides, at least two sides. The only country that will have one side, it's from government manipulation. That's not real. Okay, if it's real, any country that is real. Uh, kind of a lot too much manipulation, public impression or public reputation manipulation, then you will see two sides. China's two sides, and I mentioned the case that we have a military parade. One of the most many weapon at the top of the world, very powerful. But on the other hand, at the same time, we have mothers struggling to help their kids with pre-existing conditions by dancing. Okay, but China, if you look at American is two sides, at least two sides. You see the Washington D.C., you see the White House, you see the Congress, you see all the things, but you also see the homeless people on the street. So it's only normal. The difference is that in China, the media will less likely to cover the mom struggling for their kids. Okay. But in America, it's a free country. You can cover whatever you want. Especially, in fact, I think a lot of Americans, they like to say bad things about their country. They like to have a pessimistic because the reality is kind of bright. So it allows them to say something negative, to say something not so bright. Okay. So here is the thing that what makes China weaker, not stronger, is to suppressing different report. Because in a normal country, in a demographic society, you should allow media to cover different. Some media, some report like to talk about, look at the shining side of the country, look at the Tiananmen Square, look at the military parade, look at the weapons. But some report will be more interested in, everyday people living in the grassroots, how they struggle with life. That's only normal. But so the China, that's a bad thing. So that's one thing makes the China weaker, not stronger. But here is another thing: is deeper. If you cut deeper, then that one interesting, one funny thing is that even the mom, if you ask them, are you proud of the military parade scene, in the Tiananmen Square? Most likely, at least some of them. Not, I can't guarantee that all the mom will say that, but at least majority of them will say yes. Why? Because Chinese are raised up with the care in the faces. Okay, they want to show the world that their country is strong, their homeland is one of the strongest, has a power. They see themselves as struggling as a little thing, not very important. So for that reason, I don't think Beijing need to worry too much about the large scale protesting, riot, those kind of things, because most people are with the party state. Okay, so that's one point I want to make. I also have some viewers from my last video asking the question that I've been thinking of myself a lot of time. The viewer was asking that, do you think China will be sustainable? You know, with all the problems that the grassroots problems, do you think the China's innovation will be continued? I think the same question that time and again. I think there's one thing that we need to clear off. I'll make another video on the Nobel Prize, Peace Prize Committee that made a statement. The head of the committee had a press conference and he made a statement saying that democracy is a prerequisite of peace. That's so out of state, out of time. It's the guy really need to move forward because the reality is today it's much more complicated. Okay, so but the same reason, the reason I mentioned this one is because we said we have a lot of people in this country, including some scholars in new institutional economics. They were saying that the democracy, or in their way, it's like an institution, is basically the prerequisite for the long-term prosperity. That's also out of it's not a it need to be the thinking need to be updated. Okay. So what I'm thinking is that the reason I'm thinking about this one is that I'm not among the people who will definitely making the claim that China will collapse. Including the most famous Chinese American Michael Chan. He spent a few years in China, and then ever since coming back, he has been always, you know, uh, promoting the idea that China will will collapse. He wrote a book. Don't remember which year it was published. The book, the title is that the coming collapse of China. And then that forecast has been made so many years, and China's collapse is not still not coming yet. So, but I want to make it clear, you know, collapsed China is not good for the entire world. We better not hope it. I'm definitely not, hoping that China to be collapsed. That's not good for the entire world. Okay, but other than that, we need to change the mindset to thinking that democracy is everything. Democracy is not everything. There's so many, the world is so rich, so many dimensions, so many faces that you need to look at the whole picture. You don't want to get it to the reductionism, to say that democracy is everything. Other than that, we have no peace, we have no prosperity. That is out of date, out of date. But here I'm just saying that in China, you have to look at the resources. So I say that from that perspective, that China is rich, has a rich amount of resources when it comes to what I call it catching up innovations. Okay, here is the thing that all the Chinese, starting from elementary school, they've been trained day in and day out on solving the problems with the one and the only one answer. And that's the way. Why is that applies to today's reality? Because Americans actually has the biggest bonus, biggest gift to China, because whatever American is, whatever is hard in this country will be hard in the world. Okay, so the American dominates the world so much, so make it easy. So Communist Party of China, their job is easy because all they need to do, they don't have to do the try and error. That saves $1 trillion because you don't have to search in the dark to find out what's the next, what's the future thing, what's the hardest big one coming up. All they need to do is watch the Americans doing and then try to mobilize people to do that. It's basically saying to the Chinese, hey, come over. Let's do that electric vehicle because Elon Musk did that. And then let's do that batteries. Let's do that, electronic, wind farms. Let's do whatever, the thing. So Chinese are very good at, they have a very rich resources for doing that. And that's why I don't think I stay pretty optimistic saying that China will continue doing that. If you ask for China to have a innate internal drive to come up with new ideas, new innovations, they cannot compete. They can't even get close to American. That's why Americans are strong. But if when it comes to catching up, Chinese, nobody can beat Chinese because they try hard, it works hard, and and also they have a mindset of solving the problem with one answer. That one answer is whatever America is doing. So, so that's why for that reason. But on the other hand, we have the other side of it, two sides actually. One side is that China, that Beijing needs to have that innovation economy as a facade. I think that is a French word. I just learned that this morning. Basically, window dressing, right? Because they want to show the world that they can beat American. Lately online there's so many videos, so many posts talking about, the Chinese aircraft carriers was able to do the electric, projections of the jet of flight, and then those kind of things. They say that it beat Ford, beat American aircraft carriers. They get so excited about it. So that's one. It's very important date for the Chinese, for Beijing to show that they have the power. They can even beat the Americans. The other side is domestic. They have a very important domestic need to make people confident of their leadership. They have been playing this false attribution game ever since they joined the WTO. They basically attribute everything, all the achievement, all the changes, all the material, tangible achievement to the party, when in fact a majority of it is due to the simple fact that the American companies, EU companies, and overseas Chinese companies, they want to cut down the manufacturing costs. They want to get a higher margin. That's it. But it doesn't matter because the party can say that we did it. you know. And the same story here, that whenever the Chinese achieve some achievement, they want to people to think about it. Them, they are the one lead. I'm not saying that they are not important. The party leadership did matter and still matter to a great extent. But for the whole thing, it's not. It's not a solution. Let's just stop here.